When I was doing my MBA, we often have lectures from industry experts. And let me be honest, most of the lectures went over my head. And it's not because I was not interested, but it was because these lectures were filled of jargons, technical terms, and complex framework. So instead of learning from them, we ended up lost and disconnected. I still think that if these people were not able to express or simplify these complex ideas, then how could they expect us to understand and apply them at that time? That's when I realized that in communication, simplification is a powerful tool. And that is what I'm going to share with you today, that how to simplify a presentation on a complex topic without losing its depth. Hi, my name is Akanksha Verma. I'm a leadership language coach. I help professionals like you to improve their communication so that they can speak and sound like an elite leader. Before moving ahead, I have a question to you. Did you have any such experience of attending complex presentation where you were not able to understand any point what presenter was sharing? Now let us think why these complex presentations get failed often. Well, I have noticed few reasons which you might have experienced them too. So to explain those reasons and the solutions, let me share my screen. All right. So here are few challenges which I have noticed and which are the reasons of complexities of presentation. So let's them understand. Okay. So the first one is too many jargons or too much jargons. See, the presenter understand that audience understand the all technical jargons, but the reality is audience is not able to understand even a single jargon or technical term, and they lost. The second reason is information overloaded. In the presentation, I have seen that the presenter wants to explain everything and want to inform everything in one go, and nothing sticks in audience mind. And the next one is lack of clear structure, which means that our audience is not able to understand where the presentation has started and where it is going ahead. It becomes like a maze where the pieces are scattered and the puzzle is unsolved. The next one is that audience connection. There is no audience connection, which means that the presenter is reading the slides like a textbook. He is not taking the response. He is not understanding whether the audience is able to connect or not. So because of these reasons, the audience is completely lost and they are not able to connect at all with the presentation and the information whatever it is being shared. So as we understood the challenges or the reason of presentations getting failed, now the question is how to solve it. So I have a solution which I break down into 3 steps process. This is what I'm going to share with you with an example. So stay till the end. Now, the step 1 is to break it down. See, when you understand that your process is complex, you have to simplify. For example, you can divide into process 1, 2, 3, step number 1, 2, 3, or type number 1, 2, 3, or even you can define in bullet points 1, 2, 3. See, our brain loves the small chunks which it can observe easily and memorize it fast. So step number 1 is break down the whole process into the group of 3, 4 items. The next step number 2 is use analogies and stories. Believe me, our brain loves stories. If I tell you that if you remember any chapter from your 8th standard, you will not be able to recall it. But if I ask you that, do you remember the stories which you have heard in your childhood, you will immediately recall these stories. That's why, because the reason is that our brain is a strong observer or stories, example, and experience, because it has emotions and our brain understands emotions very well. So let us understand that you have to create a story which audience can understand, and the most importantly, while choosing the story, you have to understand who is your audience and how you can explain them. For example, if you're going to students and the audience is students, I will choose the story related to them. If the audience is professionals, I will choose the stories related to professionals. And if the audience is housewife, then I will choose the stories related to them. So while choosing or making the metaphorical stories, you have to consider who is your audience and you have to make a relatability of with the stories. Next one, visualize it. See, not only you have to break down the idea, not only you have to add the stories, but also you have to present those stories, present those examples, present your idea with the images, because we all know that that picture speaks louder than the words. So please start using simple images, flow charts which make your presentation simplified. So now we understood the reason of complex presentation getting failed, and also the solution, how we can make the presentation successful. But now I'm going to give you one example of a complex topic on how you can simplify it and how you can make presentation better simplified without losing its intention. I have taken the example of enterprise resource planning, where I will explain you the complex version of presentation, and also I will explain you how you can simplify it and how you can make the presentation simply. Okay, so let's understand the first complex version, which is why presentations are getting failed. So here you can see the definition. The enterprise resource planning is an integrated software framework that centralizes and automates cross-functional business process like procurement, manufacturing, sales, and finance. Too many jargons, too many technical terms, and too many complexities in one definition, right? If I go through the flow chart, that is also not supportive because it is too complex and too difficult to understand. I will make it little bigger so that you can see, right? So you do not understand in this picture where the process is getting started and where this is getting end, and that is the reason the whole process, the whole presentation gets complex, because the image is also not supportive with the idea, and it is not simplifying, it is not supporting your complex presentation to make it simple and easy to understand. So this is why the presentations get failed, and we think as a presenter, we think that audience will be able to understand these images and the definition. Now let us understand how to make this simplified. Okay, now let us understand the simplified version. So as a definition, ERP is a system that integrates all the core business processes like finance, procurement, sales, and operation into one unified platform for efficiency and accuracy. So now you understand the definition that ERP is a simple system where it consolidates all the business process together so that it can be accurate and it can be efficient, right? This is all about ERP. With this definition, even a school student will understand what is ERP, right? Now, what I have done as per the solution, the first thing which I have told you to break down into the small chunks. So the whole process which I have showed you in the image, it was completely complex image, right? So I have broke them down into two steps. The process one is procurement to process payment, and the second process which I have added is quotation to cash. Okay, so here I have broken down the ERP system into two process. You can broke down, basically the ERP can be broken down into multiple process also, but just for giving you the example, I have broken them down into two processes. So let us understand and simplify the process number one, right? Yeah. So here the P2P or procurement to payment process is nothing but the purchase process, which is starts from the purchase requisition and end with the payment. For example,
First step is in the process, purchase order process is first purchase requisition, second purchase creation of purchase order, which is into the ERP system. This is the process, okay? And the third process is good receipt note, fourth process is invoice verification, and fifth one is payment. Now you also might be getting confused that what is goods received, what is purchase order, what is invoice verification. So if I have to explain you ERP process, I will explain you like this. For example, if you want to buy a washing machine, what you will do, you will search in Google, and if you want to buy online, you will inquire with multiple companies, and then you will ask for the quotation, or you will ask for the inquiry. You will do certain inquiry like how much is the price, what are the models, what are the colors available. This is nothing but the purchase requisition which the company will create, okay, in their system. The second thing is you have ordered, so that is the purchase order you have created. Now once you receive the good, they will have a good receipt note in their system, so that they understand that your goods has been shipped and delivered. And finally, once the process is done, the product is delivered, they will generate an invoice, and you will get an invoice with your product. And finally you will make the payment, and you will get the payment receipt. So this is the whole process of payment or purchase order process, where the process starts with the inquiry or the purchase requisition we call in ERP system, ends with the payment which we make to the company. If you still find a difficulty to understand this complex jargon, you can think like create an inquiry, buy the product, receive the product, and finally pay the amount, right? This is the simplified process of purchase order process, right? So this is how you can define the purchase order process into ERP, by making it very simple for audience to understand. And the second one, let's break down the second step. The second step is quotation to code. This is nothing but the sales order process, which happens in ERP system. Okay, right. So order to cash process, it starts with the customer inquiry, and then it goes up to the payment again. For example, if you are the company, if you are having a online clothing business, a customer inquire for your system, for your product, and then it checks the product, that is the customer inquiry. And then you deliver the product information, you give the brochure, you give the website, they come to your website, they check the product, and finally they place the order, okay? Once the order is placed, you will check whether the order is whether you have that material or not. If you do not have material, then you may be manufacturer, or then you can buy it from your vendor, and then you can pass on or deliver to the customer. And finally the customer will make the payment, and you will receive the payment. This is a simplified process of order to cash process. If you do not understand this system, this jargons, then I will simplify it to receive an inquiry from the customer, then you place the order, the sales order, and then you deliver the material and you get paid, right, as a company, right? So this is nothing but the B2C process of ERP system. There are other processes also, like finance clarification, and then manufacturing process, but I'm not explaining all those things, but I'm just giving you an idea that how you can explain this complex process, right? It was too complex to understand. If I have showed you the image, it was too complex to understand here, but now with this breakdown you were able to understand the whole process, like simplified business process of ERP system, right? So that is how you can simplify any of the jargons, any of the complex topic, into by breaking down them, by adding the examples. So I have added example of online clothing, or I have added the example of washing machine. So that is how you can add the examples which is relevant to the audience, and that is how you can make simplified any complex topic. Now the bonus tip. Bonus tip is, see, whenever you are presenting such complex idea like ERP, the way I have explained, I have completely used the mind map like this. I request you all to try this mind map. It helps a lot because it gives a structured way to present any complex topic, and this is how the audience will map this mind map into their brain. It will be easy for them to memorize your presentation and the information what you are sharing. So finally, the bonus tip is please use mind map and explain the complex idea. Try this. You will find it easier than a presentation slide. So now you understand how you can explain any complex idea or topic in a simple way without losing the intention and without losing its depth. People will understand and memorize your information if you break them down and simplify the complex idea like this, the way I have presented and explained you ERP system. Try that and let me know how it goes. But don't forget to like, subscribe and share this video so the people who really need such information, they get benefit of it. If you want my guidance for your next presentation, connect with me. Go to the description box, click on the link below and book an appointment. I will see you there.